What's a story, amigos? This is Kino with some cool stories for today's story time.
Today, forest animals find a surprise in the snow.
They laugh.
Telma Hopkins reads about a young girl's search for her missing cricket.
Pirate, please keep cage. Return cricket.
Then, René Auberjonois reads a story about an irresistible penguin who doesn't like to cuddle.
Go away, Dudley would say. Leave me alone.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bain, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the annual financial support from viewers like you, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television.
Ask me to spell a word, Lucy. Go ahead, ask me.
Up.
Oh, that's easy. U-P, up.
That's right.
Pretty good, huh? Well, ask me another one.
Tree.
Tree. Oh, got it. T-R-E-E, tree. Boy, I am ready. Tomorrow there's a spelling bee at school, and I'm ready because I've been practicing. Do you know what a spelling bee is, Lucy?
Yes, I think so, but please explain it to me just in case.
Well, see, the teacher gives you a word to spell, and if you spell it right, you get to keep going, see?
And if you spell it wrong?
Well, you go sit down. But if you spell the word right, you keep going until there's only one kid left standing, and that kid is gonna be M-E, me.
I think you have a good chance because you know many words for someone your age.
Well, see, I'm good with words because I like to listen to stories, and I learn new words when I listen to stories. And all these words are in my head, see? And if I shake my head like this, the words and the letters get all scrambled up, and I have to relax until they settle down again.
Well, maybe reading a book would help you relax. I know you'd enjoy it.
Oh, good idea. How about this one here? It's called The Happy Day.
How about if you read it to me for a change?
Oh, well, what if I make a mistake?
I don't care if you make a mistake. I'd just be happy that you're reading to me.
Oh, well, that's how I feel when you read me a story.
Good. What's this book about?
Well, you see, it's about a bunch of animals who find a surprise in the snow. It's called The Happy Day, and it was written by Ruth Krauss with pictures by Mark Simond. Snow is falling. The field mice are sleeping. The bears are sleeping. The little snails sleep in their shells. And the squirrels sleep in the trees. The groundhogs sleep in the ground. Now, they open their eyes. They sniff. The field mice sniff. The bears sniff. The little snails sniff in their shells. And the squirrels sniff in the trees. The groundhogs sniff in the ground. They sniff. They run. The field mice run. The bears run. The little snails run with their shells. And the squirrels run out of the trees. The groundhogs run out of the ground. They sniff. They run. They run. They sniff. They sniff. They run. They stop. They stop. they laugh. They laugh and they dance. They cry. Ooh, a flower is growing in the snow. I really like that story. Run, R-U-N.
Oh.
I am ready. Boy, am I ready.
The animals had a surprise, and we had a surprise, too.
Well, I can see that the flower was a surprise for the animals, but what was our surprise?
Well, think about the pictures.
Well, I'm thinking. I'm thinking real hard.
Look at them. They're all done in
The snow. Yeah.
Yes, in the snow, but using
Just a lot of time.
Yes, it probably took time to draw them. But what do you think Mark Simont, the artist, used to draw the pictures?
He used, his hands. Yeah, his hands.
Right. What else? I think he used a black pencil. A black charcoal pencil.
Oh, doggone it. I was just going to say a black charcoal pencil.
Oh, you had some very good answers, Kino. And they were right, too. But let's get back to the pictures and our surprise.
Oh, yeah, well, why is that one the only picture with color in it?
That's the surprise I was talking about. All the pictures are in black and white, done in pencil. And on the last page, there's this one single yellow flower, the one touch of color in the whole book.
Well, why?
Well, I can only guess at the reason, but so can you.
Can you guess?
Maybe it's because in places where it snows, the winter takes most of the colors away. Outdoors, everything is white because it's covered in snow. When spring arrives, the trees, leaves, the grass, flowers, they all come back with all their colors. So maybe the little yellow flower in the book is announcing the arrival of spring.
Oh, I get it. The animals wake up because spring has arrived.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I have another surprise. I received this postcard from Desmond. He took an airplane trip and wrote this postcard while they were traveling. Should I read it?
Oh, yeah. What's old Desmond saying?
Dear Lucy, I'm writing this postcard in an airplane. I wish you and Kino were here, 'cause Telma's going to read me a story. Love, Desmond.
Oh, well, good old Desmond. I can just see him. He loves stories, too.
Oh, all right, Desmond. Well, now that you've finished writing your postcard, would you like for us to read a story?
Yes.
Great. Well, the name of this story is Maggie and the Pirate. And the words and the pictures are by Ezra Jack Keats. Okay, here we go. Maggie and her parents lived in an old bus, which they made into a home. Maggie was feeding Nicky, her pet cricket, when her mother called from across the river. Maggie? Come over here, please. I need some things from the grocery. Okay, Ma, we'll be right there. Maggie paddled home. She hung Nicky's cage on a tree next to her house. Then she got her mother's shopping list and was off. Bye-bye, Nicky. Have a nice snooze, she called. On her way, she passed her friends. Hey, What a cage my pop built for Nicky, she yelled. Wow, are you lucky, called Paco. Can we see it? Sure, I'll pick you up on my way home, said Maggie. On her way back, she picked up Paco and Katie. They helped her carry the groceries home. When they got to the tree, something was missing. The cage and Nicky were gone. Instead, there was a note. The pirate was here. Pirate? Asked Katie. Yeah, who's the pirate? Paco asked. Maggie stared at the note in horror. Paco and Katie tried and tried to take her mind off Nicky, but it was no use. I miss Nicky, Maggie sighed. And that pirate, he won't know what to feed him. Nicky might starve. Maggie began tacking up signs. Pirate, please keep cage. Return cricket. What's so special about a cricket anyway? Asked Katie. I like him. That's what, answered Maggie. I'm gonna find that pirate, shouted Maggie. We'll come too, said Paco. But how will we know what he looks like? What if he's bigger than us, whispered Katie. They started out. They looked and looked, but they couldn't find the pirate anywhere. It was getting dark. Her friends got tired and straggled behind. Maggie stopped and listened. Crickets were chirping in the night. I must find Nicky before it's too late, she said. Suddenly, she came upon a treehouse she'd never seen before. She walked over softly, climbed up very quietly, and peeked in. It was a pirate's hideout, and there was the pirate holding Nicky's cage. Hey, I know you, and that's my cricket. Maggie dived into the treehouse. She scuffled with the pirate, trying with all her strength to get Nicky. Splash! The treehouse came loose and crashed into the water. Maggie sloshed around in the dark, searching for Nicky. She saw something familiar floating by. It was the cage. She fished it out and opened it. There was Nicky. But he didn't move. Nicky's dead. He's drowned, Maggie cried. She ran off with Nicky, leaving the cage behind. Maggie! She heard her friends call. She saw Paco and Katie. They ran to her. We got lost, cried Paco. It's so dark. Wow, look at you. What happened? Did you find Nicky? Asked Katie. Maggie opened her hand and showed them. Poor Nicky, said Paco. Maggie told them everything that had happened. And that pirate is that new kid around here, she said. So, he's the one, whispered Katie. They buried Nicky. Maggie wrote his name on a piece of wood and put it over the small grave. Paco picked some flowers and brought them over. And then they sang sad songs. Suddenly, the pirate appeared. "Why did you do that?" asked Maggie. "We never did anything to you." "It was the cage. I wanted it real bad," said the pirate. "I didn't mean for the cricket to die. My old man, he never makes anything for me. He doesn't ever talk to me." The pirate handed the cage to Maggie. She held it up. A beautiful sound came out. She looked in. There was a new cricket inside. They all sat down together. Nobody said anything. They listened to the new crickets singing. Crickets all around joined in.
Hello, compadres. Hello, Lucy. Hey, did you get another postcard from Desmond?
No, the mail's not in yet. How did you do in your spelling bee this morning?
Oh, well, I did okay, but I missed one word, so I got second place.
Which word did you miss?
Keen. K-E-E-N. I missed keen. I think it means you're smart or that you like something.
How did you spell it?
Well, I started out okay, but then I got caught up in the excitement, and I added an O at the end.
Oh, you were thinking of your name. Kino. Oh, that's a natural mistake.
Well, yeah, except my name is K-I-N-O. That mistake cost me the championship. And I could have been the Master Plaster Super Neater Extra Squeezer Special Roller Waver Coolest Champion of the Spelling in the playground. Must have been the bump I got on my head that scrambled up my thinking. Ay, ay, ay.
Hi, Kino. Lucy's been telling me how well you did on your spelling bee. That's great.
Oh, gee, thanks. I did okay, but I'm a little disappointed that I had to miss one word.
Well, would, reading a book help you get over your disappointment?
Oh, yeah, you bet. What's it about?
Well, it's about this little penguin who likes to be alone, but his friends and his relatives find him so irresistible that they can't help hugging and cuddling him.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's just like my Aunt Lena. Every time she sees me, she tries to give me a hug. Do you kids know somebody like that? Well, what's the book called, Rene?
It's called Cuddly Dudley, and it was written by Jez Albro.
I'm lucky I didn't have to spell this penguin's name, Cuddly Dudley. I wouldn't know where to start.
All right, here we go. Dudley loved to play. He loved to play jumping, diving, and splashing. But most of all, Dudley loved to play all by himself. The trouble was, Dudley was such a lovely, cuddly penguin that whenever his brothers and sisters found him on his own, they just couldn't resist having a huddle and a waddle and a cuddle with him. Go away, Dudley would say. Leave me alone. We can't, came the reply. You're just too cuddly, Dudley. Well, I'm fed up with all your huddling and waddling and cuddling, said Dudley one day. I'm going to find a place where I can play all by myself. And he went off. He waddled and he toddled for many, many miles until quite by chance he found a little wooden house that looked perfect for a penguin. And it seemed to be empty. At last, said Dudley, a house of my own. A place where I can jump around all day without being disturbed. And just then, there came a rap-tap-tap at the little wooden door. It's us, said two of Dudley's sisters. We followed your waddle prints. Can we come in? No, you certainly can't, said Dudley. I'm very busy, and I don't want to be disturbed. So please go away. And he shut the little wooden door and was alone once more. At last! A house of my own. A place where I can splash around all day without being... Just then, there came a rap-tap-tap at the little wooden door. It's us, said his brothers and sisters. We followed your waddle prints. Can we come in and... No! You certainly can't, said Dudley. I don't want to huddle and waddle and cuddle. So for the very last time, stop following me around. He slammed the little wooden door and was alone once more. At last, sighed Dudley. A house of my own. Bang, 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 went the little wooden door. That does it, he said. When I catch those penguins, I'll... But it wasn't the penguins at the little wooden door. It was a great big man. My word, said the great big man. What an adorable penguin. Give me a cuddle, he cried, and chased Dudley all around the house and out into the snow. Dudley ran, and he ran, and escaped from the man. Then he decided to head back home. But which way was home? Crunch, 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 went Dudley, looking for some waddle prints to follow. But when night came, he was still alone and completely lost. And now, for the first time, he was lonely. He climbed a hill to get a better view, and at the top, he saw an enormous orange moon with hundreds of tiny sparkling stars huddled all around it. Excuse me, said a penguin from the foot of the hill. Have you finished being alone yet? Well, we wondered, now that you're back, if you wouldn't mind, whether we could... Well, it's just you're so cuddly, shouted Dudley, and he bounced down the hill as fast as he could. Then Dudley and all his brothers and sisters had the best huddling and waddling and cuddling session that they'd ever had. Until... Give me a cuddle! That's the story of Dudley, the penguin who didn't like to cuddle.
Well, Rene, do you know what?
What?
Well, I know another story with snow in it, but the pictures aren't in color.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's, let me see, the something day that, Do you remember the name of that story about the animals who find the flower in the snow? I'm thinking real hard, and I can't remember. What was it? The lucky day? No, that's not it. The smiley day? No.
The happy day?
That's it. That's it. The happy day. Happy. Happy. The happy day.
Well, what about it?
Well, it was good. And of all the pictures in it, only one had just a little bit of color. It was a picture with a yellow flower.
And you recommend the story? Should I try and get the book?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's really good. Oh, that reminds me. I have this other book that I'd like to recommend. Since we had 2 books with snow in them, my story pick for today is The Snowy Day. What's your story pick, Lucy?
My story pick is a book from a long time ago, just like The Happy Day. It's Choo Choo, the story of a little train engine who runs away.
That sounds good. Are the pictures in black and white, too?
They sure are, and they're really good, too. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Come back soon. Until then, keep a story in your heart.
See you later, my little meringue cakes.
Today's Storytime books are The Happy Day, Maggie and the Pirate, Cuddly Dudley, The Snowy Day, and Choo Choo. You can find these and other books at your local library.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bain, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the annual financial support from viewers like you, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television. Storytime is a production of KCET Los Angeles.